This is my visual portfolio for crafting the scene. We were one big group that was split into two groups, and we did half of the production each. I had a role in both groups. For the first half of the day I was DIT, and for the second half I was a grip. As a DIT, the only really problems I faced was there were some slate number issues, being that some of the takes had the same numbers as others, but most of them were easy enough to work out. There was one particular clip that didn't have a slate, but any clip that didn't fit in was put into a bloopers file, so we didn't have to delete anything. As a grip, there wasn't as much to do the second half of the day, as the track and dolly had already been used and put away, so it was only really doing stuff like correcting the set and making sure that was okay. When we were given a script at the start of the project, I feel we dawdled for a bit, but we eventually got ourselves together and we had meetings to decide the big things. So we decided the setting, which was in a futuristic land, rather dystopian. We decided of a neo-noir like theme. I don't know if that comes through later on in the film. We decided to keep the original characters that were in the script, so a girl and a boy and an older man, and then we played around with the relationships that they had between each other to I guess bring more motivation, make it more tense. We all put £15 into the budget. We agreed that this would be enough rather than 20. We didn't quite have enough money for fabric after we had paid for the actors' accommodation and travel to stretch over the flats. This was okay. We improvised, and we put the posters on the set. It wasn't perfect, but it did match the tone of the film. And I feel that was alright. We had some lighting from the top of the set. There were lights held up by C-stands and supported by ropes to the ceiling. We did get approval for this and added it to the risk assessment, but it was interesting to set up the first time. We decided not to use a jib in our production, as it's very cumbersome, and we decided that the tracking shots would be enough. I don't even think that they were used in the final edit. I'm not 100% sure why. We had some problems with our actors, being that we had 3 actors and they dropped out. So we saw some new ones, and that was okay. But the night before our shoot day, our younger male actor, he dropped out. So we managed, thankfully, to source another actor on the day. And it actually worked out quite well because he was very good. He fit the role. It was quite nerve-wracking, though. I felt that working in 2 groups rather than one group per production posed its own problems. People do things differently, so at the handover there were some discrepancies in style and continuity. We did fix them, but for maybe about half an hour period, productivity just kind of dropped. Everybody was feeling a little bit hard done by. But that was, it was okay, because we fixed it, and we'll learn about that. It's a good lesson for the next time. We had some continuity issues caused by that switchover, such as positioning on the set, the actors, and it didn't match with the background. I feel that probably affected the editing process quite hard. As part of the set design, there was ripped newspaper all over the floor, and it was good in terms of the film. but it had to constantly be corrected for the continuity, which was hilarious because we were scrambling all over the set. But we did manage that. I think it may have made it difficult for some of the shots. We made sure that the actors were well fed, water was always available, and that they were happy. The actor who played the older man had to leave before the end of the day. It couldn't be avoided, so we just filmed all of his scenes first, which meant we had to rejig our schedule, but nothing too major. He was very professional. He actually made everyone jump with when he was shouting. His acting was particularly good. The edit was it was good. I personally would have done some things differently. I was upset that some of the wider shots weren't in there because it really gave a feel of the film, but I'm sure it was probably to do with the continuity that I mentioned earlier. The final edit is much better than I thought it would be at the start of the project, but maybe not quite as good as I thought it would be on the shooting day, because everything really came together. Everyone was working so well. I guess everyone's hopes got lifted quite a lot. The sound is interesting. Like I maybe wouldn't have picked those backing tracks, but I wouldn't say it's bad. It does give a different tone to the film than I was expecting. I think I maybe had something else in my head, but that's fine because it did turn out well, and we have a piece of work that we can be proud of. And from the start of the project to now, it's better than I thought, by like a huge margin. So I feel like I'm proud of what we've done here.